I was out eating lunch with Lindsay last week, and she asked me what I liked about making games and why it interests me so much. And after explaining to her how it's always fascinated me, she told me to make her a farming game. And so that's what I did. So when I first thought about what makes up a good farming game and what makes them so fun, I had to first think of some other farming games that have a good gameplay loop. And obviously the first one I thought of was Stardew Valley. So if we think for a second, what are a couple of the main aspects of that game that make it so good? We have farming, fishing, interactions with NPCs, and some light combat. So to start, I wanted to get some of the bare bones fundamentals down, and the first things I went ahead and made were farming, selling, a couple enemies, and an inventory and placing system. So right here, I have a very early iteration of my game, and I just have some primitive objects here to just kind of represent some different types of plants. Like we have like a potato or a strawberry and seeds. So I have my farming or / growing system here. So if I want to go ahead and make some strawberries, I can just go over here, drop it on, it'll grow a little too big, everything's can be adjusted. So I can pick it up, go over here, drop it, sell it, get some Lindy bucks. So that's the farming system, which is really simple in gameplay. You just do the whole process, but it was such a nightmare behind the scenes to figure this whole thing out, which is so surprising because it really is just so simple in gameplay. But all my troubles were solved by system in Unity that's special to Unity that undoubtedly is one of my favorite things that absolutely helped me so much. Figuring out about these data set scripts called scriptable objects was absolutely vital in me figuring things out. This was my first time using scriptable objects, but being able to create a set of variables that I can assign to tons of different items and have those objects interact with the world in the same way is amazing to me. So like it's just simple as you just go here, you just create another crop, you set all your values up here that you want it to be, and then it just works and it is amazing. Ironically enough though, is the scriptable objects also led to my next issue that I had trouble overcoming, which was creating my own inventory system, which I am very proud of this inventory system. It's very, very simple. But the fact that you can pick up all these different objects and they display different sprites in your hotbar, which is definitely going to change. I just have white boxes as placeholders for now. It's crazy to me. But it is kind of ironic because I sat here staring at my screen, at my code in here for hours, just trying to figure out how to make this work. Scriptable objects definitely streamline the process because I was able to just pass in whatever scriptable object into my inventory, then it displays that in my inventory and has a reference to that item in my inventory, which is great. But the problems occurred when I had to pick up different types of objects, like seeds, crops, and farmland are all different scriptable objects, but you can pick them all up. The issue with me having to interact with a bunch of different items with all the different scriptable data was amazingly solved by one simple fix though, and that's using an interface. Right here, you have an interface. This is just a C# thing. This is an interface, and it essentially allows you to take all these variables from different scriptable objects, like I have seed data, crop data, and you set what the interface is going to read from here, and it spits it into the interface.
And these are shared across all the different scriptable objects. So you put all the shared values in here and you get them in the pickup data, which is the name of my interface. And then in inventory, that's what it passes in. It passes in the scriptable object data, but only those values into here. And then, you know, the inventory will display like the sprite, the bools that it has, the object that it is. And after I learned what an interface was, I was able to solve so many more issues using the same exact solution, which is an amazing feeling. And one of my favorite things about making games is being able to figure out different solutions for tons of different things. So that was my main 2 hurdles that I eventually got over, was figuring out how to differentiate all these items with different values easily, and also creating an inventory system and being able to differ between them all. These are issues that many game devs have probably encountered well before me, but to me, this is a whole new terrain, and it is very rewarding to be able to build simple little games out of nothing but numbers and words, which is the root of why I love making games, and is what I told Lindsay when we were out at lunch. Anyways, though, I will probably continue adding more core features to my little game here that I'm making for Lindsay, like some actual models for the player and crops and seeds, but that's going to be for a different day. I'm really happy with what I have here and what I've made. I'm really excited about it. Thanks for stopping by to watch me do me things, whatever I'm up to during the week. And I hope to see you next time, where I may be hell diving. We'll see how the week goes. But yeah, goodbye.